Beloved ones, know this truth: nothing comes to you by chance. Every blessing that arrives at your door is the echo of your own spoken word, the reflection of your faith, and the outpouring of divine law working in perfect order. You may not have asked for this particular blessing, but the universe has prepared it, and it moves toward you even now, unstoppable, inevitable, certain. God is never late, nor does he forget. The riches of heaven flow like a river, and those who keep their hearts free of fear and their minds filled with praise will always find themselves standing on the banks of that river, ready to receive. Do not wonder how, or from where, or by whose hand it will come. Do not let you there are moments in life when the greatest blessings arrive without our asking. We may not have prayed for them in words, we may not have even dreamed them with our imagination, yet they appear before us like a surprise gift from the heavens. This is because blessings are not always tied to human requests. They are tied to divine law. When you live in harmony with truth, when your mind and heart are attuned to the higher order, blessings are drawn to you as naturally as a magnet draws iron filings. It is not effort, nor striving, nor endless pleading that brings them forth. It is alignment, it is faith, it is the quiet conviction that God knows your needs even before you speak them. Think of the sunlight. It shines on all without being asked. It does not wait for a flower to beg for warmth or for a tree to plead for light. It pours itself out because it is its nature to do so. In the same way, God's blessings pour into your life when you are positioned to receive them. Many people think they must demand, insist, or wrestle with life to obtain what they desire. But the truth is that divine supply flows of its own accord, and often it brings what we did not specifically request, because Spirit sees a broader vision than our human eyes can behold. The unasked blessing is proof that you are held in divine remembrance. It is a reminder that the law of good is always at work, weaving unseen patterns in your favor. You may have prepared your mind through affirmations, spoken words of faith, or quiet gratitude, and then moved on with your daily life. What you may not realize is that these acts of faith are seeds planted in the soil of spirit. And when the season is right, those seeds bloom into a harvest greater than you imagined. The harvest may come in the form of money, opportunities, relationships, or protection. And when it comes, you may think, "But I never asked for this." That is the wonder of it. You aligned yourself and the blessing found you. The soul that walks in trust attracts supply in unexpected ways. A sudden gift of money, a door opening to a new career, a debt forgiven, a friend appearing at the perfect moment. These are not coincidences. They are the law in action. They are signs that heaven answers not only your spoken words, but also the silent song of your spirit. The blessing may not match your request, but it always matches your need and your highest good. Sometimes it even exceeds both. Therefore, never believe that you are overlooked or forgotten simply because you did not make a formal request. Your faith itself is the call, and God's abundance is the answer. Every act of trust, every word of gratitude, every moment you choose to believe rather than fear, opens a door for blessings to enter, often carrying treasures you did not even know to ask for. There is a divine clock that never misses its moment. Human minds grow impatient, human hearts grow restless, but God's timing is flawless, and His supply arrives at the appointed hour. Riches and abundance do not come through worry, nor are they gained by rushing and forcing outcomes. They come by law, by rhythm, by perfect sequence. The same way the tide rolls in at its hour, and the seasons change in their order, so too does provision arrive when the soul has made itself ready. When fear is released and trust is embraced, the flow begins steady and unstoppable, like a mighty river that cannot be dammed by doubt. Fear acts as a wall. It blocks the current of abundance and convinces the mind that lack is real. Yet lack is only an illusion born of unbelief. The moment fear is dismissed, the river of divine supply breaks through with strength. Trust is the key that unlocks this flow. When a man or woman stands still in faith, declaring silently, "God's plan is perfect, and His riches flow to me now." The universe answers with evidence. The very atmosphere seems to rearrange itself, situations align, doors open, and money arrives from unexpected places. The one who trusts does not need to strain, for strain is the language of fear, while ease is the language of faith. Consider the river. It does not struggle to flow. It follows its course with certainty, bending around obstacles, carving its path, and always reaching the sea. Divine supply works in the same way. Even if life presents delays or detours, the current of abundance will find its channel, carrying riches straight to the one who believes. To doubt is to step out of the current and wander in the dry places of worry. To trust is to step back into the stream, letting it carry you toward prosperity without effort. God's timing is not always the timing of men. What seems late to the anxious heart is right on time in the great design. Often the waiting season is preparation, shaping the soul so it may hold the blessing without fear or waste. To receive great sums of money without the spirit of trust would only invite more fear. But to receive it with a heart anchored in faith is to step into lasting security. For what comes by divine law stays by divine law, and what arrives at the right time multiplies rather than fades. Release the thought that you must chase your good. Release the fear that supply may not come. Rest in the assurance that God's law is at work. Riches, opportunities, success, and peace are already in motion. They flow toward you in perfect order, unseen yet unstoppable, like a river moving at night, ready to glimmer in the morning sun. Trust, and you will see that abundance has been traveling toward you all along, waiting only for the moment when your faith opened the gates to let it in. Would you like me to now expand the third key point into 500 words as well, so you have a continuous series in the same style? You said, expend 3 key point without any subheading and conclusion in 500 words, ChatGPT said. Here's a 500-word expansion of the third key point. Huge sums of money are already moving toward you by divine right, without struggle or effort. Written in Florence Scovel Shinn's style, without any subheadings or conclusion. Even now, unseen by your eyes, provision is on its way. Vast sums of money, greater than you have counted or imagined, are moving in your direction, summoned by divine right. This wealth does not come because of toil or endless struggle. It comes because the law of supply answers every soul who aligns with it. Just as the planets move in their orbits without human hands to guide them, so does your abundance travel toward you without effort on your part. It is carried on currents of divine order, and it cannot be stopped by delay, fear, or appearances of lack. Many people believe that great wealth must be earned through grinding labor, but that is only the world's belief in separation. The truth is that money, like all things, is spiritual substance, and it obeys the law of attraction set in motion by your words, your thoughts, and your faith. When you speak the language of divine right, declaring that wealth belongs to you as naturally as air belongs to your lungs, you open the way for this substance to take shape as money, opportunities, and unexpected gifts. You do not chase it, it finds you. You do not force it, it arrives by decree of the higher law. To struggle for money is to affirm its absence. To rest in the knowledge of divine supply is to magnetize its presence. The mind that says, I must work harder, I must push, I must fight to get ahead, is tangled in the belief of separation. But the mind that declares, money comes to me by divine right, in the right time, in the right way, in the right amounts, is aligned with the truth. This alignment is not laziness, it is wisdom. It is the recognition that abundance is not a prize to be won, but an inheritance to be claimed. Huge sums of money are even now being arranged for you through channels you cannot see. Perhaps they come through the hands of another person, perhaps through a new opportunity, perhaps through a gift that seems unlikely. But know this, the form does not matter, the source does not matter, only the law matters. God is the source, and money is one of the channels through which His goodness flows. The river does not question whether it shall reach the sea, and neither should you question whether abundance will reach your life. Stand still and affirm your right. Say within yourself, "This money is mine by divine appointment. It moves toward me freely, joyfully, and without obstruction." In that moment, you release struggle, and you invite the current of wealth to sweep into your experience. What you believe to be far away is already near, and what you thought required effort is already provided. The law has spoken, and the sums of money are already in motion, making their way to you by divine right, ready to appear in visible form when your faith is steady enough to receive them. Doubt is the thief that stands at the gate of abundance. It whispers to the heart that the blessing may not come, that the money may not arrive, that the promise may not be fulfilled, and when the heart listens, the gate closes. Supply does not stop existing. It is simply held back, as if a door has been shut against a rushing wind. Worry adds its weight to the lock, convincing the mind that struggle is necessary, that effort is the only way. Yet the truth is always the same. Doubt and worry block, while faith and gratitude open. The soul that chooses gratitude shifts the entire atmosphere of its life. Gratitude says, "I already have," and in saying this, it calls forth more. When you give thanks for what is unseen, as though it were already present, you open the door wide for it to enter. The universe responds to the vibration of praise, not complaint. The one who says, "Nothing ever works out for me," is speaking a decree that seals the door shut. But the one who says, "Everything works together for my good, supply is flowing now," speaks a decree that opens the door and invites abundance to walk in freely. Affirmations are the keys to this opening. They are not mere words, they are commands spoken into the invisible. Each time you affirm, "I live in a rich and abundant universe. Money comes to me easily and freely," you strike a match of light against the darkness of doubt. Repetition strengthens the flame until it becomes a torch, guiding abundance straight to your doorstep. Affirmations retrain the mind, turning it away from worry and towards certainty. They declare to the unseen law, "I am ready to receive." Praise has a power beyond understanding. When you lift your voice in joy, when you celebrate even before the evidence appears, you demonstrate faith. Praise says, "I know the gift is already mine, though it has not yet arrived in my hands." This vibration draws supply closer, like a magnet pulling iron. Worry repels, praise attracts, gratitude multiplies, affirmations command. Together, they form the threefold cord that no doubt can cut. Think of a field that has been closed by a heavy gate. Doubt keeps it locked, fear bars it, and worry posts guards around it. Yet the moment gratitude is spoken, the key is turned. The moment praise is lifted, the gate swings open. The moment affirmations are declared, the guards vanish, and the field of abundance lies open and ready to be harvested. Money flows, opportunities appear, and the path clears itself as though it had always been waiting. Therefore, do not spend another moment bowing to worry or listening to doubt. Turn your words toward light. Speak gratitude in the morning, affirmations at noon, and praise in the evening. With each word, you open doors wider until the flood of abundance, long held back, pours through without resistance. Supply was always waiting. It is your words of faith that release it into form. Every word you speak is a seed cast into the garden of life. Words are not idle sounds drifting into the air. They are living forces charged with creative power. The spoken word builds, it shapes, it directs the unseen substance of the universe into visible form. When you speak fear, fear multiplies. When you speak lack, lack appears. But when you declare faith, when you affirm truth, when you speak words of abundance, the universe rushes to obey, and your life becomes the very picture of what you have spoken. The phrase, "God is my unfailing source, wealth flows to me now," is not a simple statement, it is a decree. Each syllable carries authority, for it aligns with spiritual law. To say, God is my unfailing source, is to cut away every false belief that people, jobs, or circumstances are the providers of your good. It returns the mind to truth, that the source is infinite, inexhaustible, and ever present. When this truth is spoken, the soul is freed from dependence on appearances and anchored in divine certainty. The second half of the affirmation, wealth flows to me now, releases the current of abundance into action. Wealth is not asked to come nor begged for, it is commanded to flow, and the word now is vital, for it denies delay and affirms immediacy. It claims the blessing not for some far-off future, but for this very moment. Such declarations do not leave room for doubt to creep in, because the word has gone forth with authority, and by the law of spirit it must return fulfilled. Think of the word as a chisel striking against stone. Each declaration shapes the form of your reality, carving away what is not needed and giving structure to what is desired. If you repeat words of lack, you carve out emptiness. If you repeat words of faith, you carve out abundance. Eventually, the shape of your life mirrors the pattern of your spoken words. Thus, the wise soul guards their speech, knowing that every word is a command issued to the invisible. When you rise each day and speak words of truth, you set forces in motion before you even take a step. Doors that seemed shut begin to open. Money that seemed far away begins to draw near. Opportunities that seemed hidden begin to reveal themselves. This is not magic, it is law. The spoken word is law in action, forming substance into shape and calling forth the invisible into the visible. Therefore speak boldly, speak with joy, speak with conviction. Do not let idle talk of worry or complaint escape your lips, for every word counts. Let your declaration be steady and unwavering. God is my unfailing source. Wealth flows to me now. Speak it until your heart believes it, until your mind accepts it, until your reality reflects it. For what is spoken in faith cannot fail to appear, and what is affirmed with power must manifest in perfect form. There is a quiet power in standing still. The world clamors for action, for striving, for constant movement, but Spirit whispers another truth. Faith requires stillness. When you stand still in faith, you anchor yourself in the certainty that divine provision is already on its way. You do not chase, you do not beg, you do not struggle. You rest in the assurance that the law of supply has been set in motion, and that what is yours by divine right must find its way to you. Prosperity is not something fragile, uncertain, or dependent on chance. It is assured, sealed by the eternal promise that God withholds no good thing from His children. Standing still in faith does not mean inactivity of spirit. It means activity in trust. The heart may be tempted to worry, but faith answers, I will not be moved. The mind may imagine delays, but faith replies, it is already done. When you take this position, you align with the highest vibration of truth, and in that alignment, provision cannot help but appear. For divine law responds to the unmoved soul as surely as a reflection responds to a mirror. The outer world mirrors the inner state, and when the inner state is calm, confident, and filled with expectancy, the outer world must deliver abundance. It is in stillness that fear loses its grip. When you stand still, you do not give energy to doubts or to the endless how of manifestation. You are no longer trying to solve life with human reasoning. You are allowing Spirit to solve it with divine wisdom. This is why prosperity becomes assured, for you have shifted from the realm of worry into the realm of certainty. The provision that was always hovering nearby now has an open channel through which to enter your life. Imagine a pond with rippling waters. When it is stirred and restless, the reflection is distorted. But when it is calm and still, it reflects the sky perfectly. In the same way, your life reflects divine abundance most clearly when your spirit is still. Restless striving blurs the reflection, but faith-filled stillness makes it shine. From this place of stillness, you begin to notice doors opening effortlessly, money appearing without strain, opportunities aligning in ways you could never have arranged. You realize that the divine has been orchestrating all along, waiting only for you to step aside from worry and allow the current of good to flow. The assurance of prosperity is not a fragile hope, it is a law. When you stand still in faith, you demonstrate that you know this law is unbreakable. You become the receiver rather than the chaser, the channel rather than the obstacle. Divine provision manifests before your eyes, not because you forced it, but because you trusted it. In that trust, prosperity becomes inevitable, supply becomes certain, and your life unfolds as the perfect outworking of divine abundance.